The following podcast contains spoilers for Birds of Prey, which I think is called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey right now, or Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, not the punctuation. Anyway, there are spoilers in this regarding that movie, so if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to do some stuff about that and go see it and then come back to this podcast, because anyway, oh my god, I am so sorry that I'm so giddy. I'm a lot more awake than I was in the last episode. This is Quinzel, by the way. Leslie, I am subbing for her. She is living her best life on a cruise right now. More on that later, but on what you drinking? Well, honestly, I was drinking NyQuil and orange juice with all the pulp. So here's my secret. My secret is I will drink orange juice with all the pulp, or most pulp, as much pulp as I can get in it, when I'm not feeling well. And something about feeling like I'm drinking an orange makes me feel great. And it helps me to bounce back a little bit faster. So don't quote me on that. That's not medical advice. It's just something that I noticed that helps me. So I got that. And then of course I had to down some NyQuil, and it took me a few days. I was really out of it and really tired, but yeah, I didn't get to try any alcoholic drinks, unlike Leslie, who, if you look on her Facebook page, there is a picture of all of the drinks, one of the drink menus of where she was at, and I'm like, that looks kind of good. I wonder if I could make that. Anyway, also in Week in Geek, Leslie is also in Week in Geek, because I'm kind of geeking out over her vacation, not gonna lie. So if you head to our Facebook page, Geeky Girl's Guide to Life, and our Instagram at Geeky Girl Guide, she has been posting all of these pictures. She's been playing bingo. Oh, what else was she doing? All I know is that Old Navy jumpsuit is super cute, and her and her family are just having the best time. I went on a cruise when I was 16, so I wasn't old enough to do anything, but the teenage zone was really fun, and there was a girl that hooked up with one of the guys there, and it was kind of weird. They were of age, but it was just weird. Anyway, maybe we'll save that story for another day. Shout out to Leslie. Girl, you are living your best life, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your vacation. You so deserve it. Also, Week in Geek, which is what this whole episode is going to be about. Birds of Prey. I'm reviewing Birds of Prey. I saw it. I liked it. Maybe. I don't know. Am I giving away too much right now? The point is, I saw it and I want to tell you about it, and there's some spoilers, and I'm going to start spoiling it for you right now. Okay, so I had to see this movie. Come on, my namesake is Quinzel, so of course I'm going to see Harleen Quinzel in her own gosh darn movie, right? First of all, yeah, I loved it. I feel like I've said that 6 times already, but I love this movie. So probably one of my favorite things about it is, let me think. When I saw it, it reminded me of Deadpool. When I saw Deadpool for the first time, it was, people got sliced up, and it was a little gory, but it was hilarious. It was a good time. It was a really, really exciting movie, which coincidentally, Deadpool came out for Valentine's Day, and Birds of Prey came out around Valentine's Day, which, they really dropped the ball by not having a Galentine's Day showing. Bring your girls together to come watch Birds of Prey. That would have been the best advertisement ever. And so it's weird because there's negative reviews, and I don't really feel I guess the only negative thing is I feel like it wasn't advertised well. Torrid did have a line that came out from Birds of Prey early on, where it was some of the clothes from the movie, but because the movie wasn't out yet, the Harley's little fringe sleeves that are the different colors, if you haven't seen the movie, you're kind of oh, that's kind of different. At least that's how I felt. There was the white Harley Quinn shirt, and that was on Torrid, and right after I saw the movie, I was I gotta get this shirt, and it sold out, of course. I was dang it, I could have had that shirt. I should have did it back then before anybody saw the movie, but I didn't. There was some of that, but really a big push for like advertisement. Like, I would have bought up everything Harley Quinn, let me tell you. It would have been really exciting if they would have did more with that. And once I saw the movie and I honestly saw how good it was, I was really surprised that it was like why would you not advertise this amazing movie? It's just so weird that so I try to stay away from the negative reviews too, because I was like, so I'm not gonna read the review. Like, I can tell by the title that it's negative, and I can hear a lot of people saying early on in the reviews that they didn't like it, but I'm gonna avoid it for now, and I just kind of want to make my own conclusions as to like how I feel about it, because, you know, I don't know, I just couldn't really trust it. That just kind of told me to just like pump the brakes on that and see what's going on. And oh my god, these negative reviews were so wrong. Like, there was so much in this movie that was so cool, and like I said earlier, it kind of reminded me a lot of Deadpool, except it was girls. So that was kind of weird to hear that people didn't really like it. I will say, but maybe, you know, now that I think about it, I wonder if a lot of stuff maybe the like male reviewers didn't really get or didn't really understand, and so they were like, oh, this sucks. I mean, and that's just me thinking out loud here. Like, I don't know if maybe that was part of it, because there were certain things like that weren't overt girl things, but it definitely like signaled to like the stuff that we said that we've been wanting to see in our movies for years, right? Like, the Bechdel test is a huge thing, and once I actually learned about it, I would kind of like pay attention to, oh, does this pass the Bechdel test? And basically the Bechdel test is two things. Two women have to talk to each other, and they have to talk to each other about something other than a man. And you would be surprised how many movies do not pass the Bechdel test. And so when you kind of just think about it in that sense, you're like, oh, wow, we could really do movies just like a little bit differently, right? So yeah, this passed Bechdel test, like, hands down. Like, yes, there were moments where we were talking about the Joker, we were talking about the main villain, Black Mass, which I'll get to him in a second. It was just a really good, like, there were so many things that you don't really see girls do in movies that I was totally here for. And I was kind of like, this has to be a woman on this set, because it's not someone who is maybe tasked with, hey, we need to write a movie to make the girls happy. It had to be somebody who came in with that experience. So it was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. So number one thing I noticed right off the bat, the shoes that Harley Quinn was wearing, like in fight scenes and things like that, they were always practical. And that's one thing, is like, I would see somebody looking cute in 6-inch stilettos or a mini skirt, and you would like never end up seeing their butt, and they're doing like high kicks and stuff. And it's like a total crack up, but somehow they're able to spin around in 6-inch stilettos. Now, she had like wedges. Now, I wore wedges before. I can't walk in heels to save my life, but I could run a few laps in some wedges, you know? So kind of like noticing her footwear and stuff like that was really cool, because it's like, oh wow, like, and she's wearing, for the most part, pants or like the little jumpsuit, so it's still like her kind of fashion and like the loud colors and the patterns and the things that she likes, but it's not necessarily sexy. Like, it's something that I would be like, once I saw the movie, I was like, oh, I'd buy that jacket. I didn't like the fringe jacket when I saw it on tour the first time around, but then once I saw Harley Quinn wearing it, I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of like that. I'd wear it. But it was all practical for what she was doing. So the shoes were practical, the clothes were practical, the makeup wasn't perfect. So there were some scenes where you notice, like when she got hit by Black Mask, when she was in the chair, you know, her lipstick was smeared, or when she's crying, like her eyeliner comes down and things like that. And so there's so many fight scenes where I noticed that the woman's makeup never changes, and I'm like, what foundation is she wearing? Because I want some of that. Like, how are you not, like, you know, I would be like having like streaks of foundation like on my shirt and everything like that. And so it was very realistic, and I really liked that. I love seeing women eating, and not in a way where so I used to do theater, so there's a way where you can eat pretty, or like you're eating for film. And then there's a way where it's like, okay, eat realistically, and you're kind of overtly, you know, chomping on this food to make it look like you're overtly eating. And it was something that was very like natural about it. Like, hey, if I'm in my apartment, I'm going to cross my legs and I'm going to eat this cereal like this. And I'm so surprised at how many movies do not show women eating. And I don't know, it's something I noticed and I really liked it. Also, women talking about poop or pooping. A woman sitting on a toilet. Like, that's like unheard of sometimes. But it was also not the butt of the joke. Like, haha, she's pooping, this is so funny. Probably her Harley Quinn taping the little girl to the toilet was the joke, but still, like, being able to have those conversations without it being like a huge ahaha moment was really, really nice. And it was just exciting to watch. I'm gonna kind of take it down a notch because I am like in such a giddy good mood because it was so good. But we'll talk a little bit about Black Mask. So Black Mask is the villain, and he's a good villain. You know, like, I don't know how to say this without like making people mad. He's a good villain because honestly, he's just like a white guy with too much power. Like, that's all it is. Like, he doesn't have any superpowers or anything like that. He's just got some people that can follow him because he's a dude, and he's like irrationally angry about things, and people allow him to be irrationally angry about things. And there was this one part, and shout out to my husband for like checking in with me, because you know, we've talked a lot about triggers and things like that, and he's been really receptive to things that are triggers to me, and then he's been able to kind of, you know, and I've been like receptive to him if there's something that makes him uncomfortable and stuff like that. And the scene with Black Mask when he's in the club and the lady's laughing and he's like, is she laughing at me? First of all, I was like, oh my god, this guy again, you think everybody's laughing at you? The problem is that he has so much power that instead of just stopping right there, like, I think she's laughing at me and I'm mad about it, he then goes up to her and is like yelling at her to stand on the table and dance, and she's terrified. And then he tells the guy to cut the dress off of her, and the dude's freaked out, so he just doesn't, and she's like shaking, sobbing, like doesn't know what to do. And then he just goes up to Black Canary and is like, let's dance. And I really like how Black Canary played that scene, because she was clearly shaken, and she was not so much trying to hold it back, because like you could see a tear fall and you can see that she was shaken and like almost like she was shocked, you know what I mean? Like, it was just really crazy. And then she's just like, you're gonna dance with me now? What the heck? And that was so realistic. And so I'm glad my husband checked in with me. He's like, is this triggering to you? Like, and I said, no, I'm okay. I was able to kind of get through it, but I thought about that scene, and it was really funny because there's this escalation in this guy, right? And then he immediately comes down and he's like, let's dance. Like, I said what I wanted to say, I'm done now. And that is, you know, I could go on like a 30-minute rant about this, but that is such like an abuser trait. It's almost like gaslighting, because you have somebody who blows up and then they're like, oh no, everything's fine now. And everybody else is like, what the heck? Like, I've already been affected by your blow up and now you're fine? Like, no, we can't do this. And it makes it easier for them to be like, I never blew up at you. What are you talking about? But Black Mask, you know, in that sense, he was a good villain because he didn't have anything extraordinary about him. He just, I would say, like, his anger was extraordinary, his sense of entitlement was extraordinary, and his, you know, backing and of people were extraordinary. So it was like very gratifying to see that, you know, at the end, like, he got what he deserved. It was also really nice at the end that the Joker was not the one to save them. Like, I felt like it was coming. So she takes off her roller skates and she's walking barefoot, and I actually really liked how realistic that was, taking off the roller skates. Shout out to her for like learning the derby stance, by the way. I used to do roller derby back in the day, and when she's kind of like skating down the street and she's kind of doing that squat, like, that's not her being super sexy. Like, that's how you do roller derby. It was so good that the Joker was not, like, that's kind of what I thought. Like, he's gonna pop out of one of these barrels and he's gonna stab the guy and he's gonna say, Harley, baby, rah, 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 and save them all, and she's gonna be like, Puddin'. And it was a good gesture, even though, I mean, probably has to do a lot more with contract than anything. But it was really good that the Joker was not in the movie at all. So even in the beginning when she's, you know, hurt by him dumping her, and I actually thought he was going to be in the car and she blew him up, and then he, you know, he always magically comes back. But you know, I really like that. I really like that he wasn't the savior. I really felt like he was going to be. I'm like, dang, all this work about girls and camaraderie, we're gonna all undo it by making Joker the hero. Gosh dang it. But it was really that girl's like, but I have your ring. And that was like really awesome and gratifying, just to watch that. And really, it was a really good women's story. The hair tie part where she was like, need a hair tie? And she pulls her hair back and is like, thanks. It's like, see, that's how girls look out for each other. And I don't know if, you know, everybody would know that if they were outside of the girl circle or not. Gosh, what else about this movie? I already talked about the egg sandwich, but we'll just bring it up again because that full circle at the end of them smelling the sandwich and it's wrapped in foil, like that was like, girls like to eat. I like to eat. It's an egg sandwich. That's good. I never thought a hyena of all things would make me cry. I cried over Bruce. Like, I literally cried because I was like, no, Bruce is gone. Bruce is gone. And when she like goes downstairs, she's like, have you seen Bruce? I'm like, oh my God, Bruce, why did you do that? So I was really glad that Bruce was fine, because I was like, he's gonna walk out. He's gonna walk out. And then the movie just kept going, and I was like, oh my God, Bruce is gone. She's gonna have to get a Bruce too. And I was like, dang, that's kind of messed up. But yeah, this doggone hyena that made me cry, and I just really, yeah, there were a lot of emotions in that movie, but mostly excitement. I really want to hear more about the Birds of Prey. I really want to see more. Honestly, make like, don't be mad at me for this. Actually, I don't even care if you're mad at me. I would say this movie was one of the best cinematic DC movies that I have seen so far. I did not like Batman vs. Superman. And it's funny that I say that, because usually, like, every movie review, I'm like, oh my God, I loved it. Did not like Batman vs. Superman. That movie was too doggone long. I was okay with I still liked Wonder Woman. I think they could have done better on the advertisement on that too. And maybe just because I have, like, again, Quinzel's my namesake, it's Harley Quinn, and she's not as of a do-gooder as Wonder Woman. Maybe that's why I enjoyed this one more. Wonder Woman was up there. It was a really good movie. Love DC Comics. Cinematically, they haven't been that great. And Harley Quinn is going to save this doggone franchise. Like, let me tell you, you make 3 more Harley Quinn movies with Margot Robbie, it's gonna save all of DC. Because it was that good. They had somebody who was knowledgeable about the character, who was knowledgeable about women, knowledgeable about breakups. I mean, who didn't identify with her breaking up with the Joker and eating a can of cheese and cutting her hair and crying? Like, it was a lot of kind of like what we needed to see, and we need to see more of that, honestly, not just in Harley Quinn, but like in a lot of characters. You know, yes, Wonder Woman, you know, you're not gonna find her, you know, behind a bag of cocaine and smelling it in, you know. That's not going to happen with Wonder Woman. But with Harley Quinn, this was the perfect opportunity to showcase some of those things that women are kind of lacking in these comic book movies. Like, comics were created by people who saw women as sexy, and so, you know, you have the high bust and the little booty cheeks hanging out and all of that stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think sometimes they put the sex appeal above the actual character development, and they don't really try to put more into it beyond that. And so that's why I really like this movie. I mean, I love the character Harley Quinn, and I love her not being with the Joker. Like, this is great. Like, let's do more of this. I want to see Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. I don't care who else. I'll see Harley Quinn and Brad Pitt. Like, because this girl does a great job. So honestly, I know I gave Sonic, like, what would I say, 50,000 rings and some gold stars. Yeah, so this gets like gold stars, gold hearts, Harley Quinn diamonds, everything. This movie was really, really good. I think it'll be good for the DC cinematic universe to keep this going. Honestly, I might even see Birds of Prey again, but I'm totally obsessed with all the characters. Huntress was like, I'm backing up a little bit. Huntress is like the awkward girl superhero that I never knew that I needed. Like, she's so awkward, and I love it because it's like, yeah, she's kicking butt and she's doing what she gotta do, but she's so awkward and I love it. Black Canary's great. Honestly, like, she's not murdering the cops. Harley Quinn's not murdering the cops in the police station, but the glitter effects, you know, it's a comic book movie, so it doesn't have to be totally realistic. That was fun. Beanbags and glitter confetti all over. Yeah, do that again. So it was a great time. So I would love to know what you guys thought of Birds of Prey. If you want to reach out to us, go ahead and tweet us, Facebook us. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you hated it. Let me know if you got that lovely Harley Quinn shirt from Torrid, because I wanted that shirt. So if you have an extra line around, you might want to send it to Quinzel. Oh, missed opportunities, man. Anyway, I don't know, guys. It's such a good movie. I think you're really, really gonna love it if you check it out. I'm definitely buying it when it comes out. And that's all I got to say about that, y'all. I'm so glad the Joker was not in this. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Geeky Girls Night In. Shout out to Leslie, who actually trusted me to put this on and not say anything crazy in her absence. If you guys want to give us a call or tell Leslie how good or bad I'm doing, you can call us 317-207-0693. You want to send us some mail? We like getting letters. Go ahead and address something to us at Geeky Girls Night In, P.O. Box 90232, Indianapolis, Indiana 46290. Want to give us a coffee? Because we're like super thirsty, right? Just kidding. That's like our funding thing. So send us a coffee our way. And that's going to be ko-fi.com/geekygirlsni. And again, that's ko-fi.com/geekygirls. N is Nancy, I is an igloo. Hey, special thanks to Michelle for being our first contributor. Thanks, Michelle. We so broke. Anyway, want to hang out with us on Facebook? You can go on facebook.com and search Geeky Girls Night In. You can also go hang out with us on Instagram, where we post funny memes. Geeky Girl Guide. You can also go to Geeky Girls Ni Nancy Igloo on Twitter, and we will be there too. If you want to just like not hear me ramble and say like 1,000 times, you can check out our blog post on geekygirlguide.com. I don't really know what else to say here except Quinzel out.